Hey guys, welcome to the back nine of round 2 at the Tyyni. I'm Tina Oakley.
And I'm Eric Oakley, and this event is presented by Natural Born Disc Golfer, Latitude 64, Dynamic Discs, and Ford, which is super cool to see, a big sponsor like that getting involved in disc golf. So
they sponsor the entire course.
Yeah.
They really love disc golf over here.
All the tee pads, tee signs, baskets has Ford, and there were some Ford cars out towards hole 1. We have 2 players at 11, 2 players at 13, so they're going to be looking to try and attack this back 9, which is very, very tough. I think this is where it really shows its teeth. Hole 10, very tight, 140 meter par 4. It's really, really dependent on how far you get off of this tee shot. If you
if you have good luck.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult. I believe that these par 4s are very fair if you hit the gap. If you don't, you are definitely
I feel like they're par 5s.
Yeah.
It's all about the tee shot on a lot of holes at Ford.
Mm-hmm. Simon opting for the forehand, and this is exactly what you want it to look like. Great shot.
I love the sidearm on this because you can really see that gap the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That was unreal.
Yeah,
That's the best shot I've seen.
Totally. You want it to push straight as long as possible, but cut right before these last trees. And when you do that, Eagle throws it better.
Okay. I take back my previous statement. You can't see, but those people on the hill, the basket's right behind them. Mm-hmm. So that was outstanding.
And
par 4.
Yeah, and where this basket is kind of perched up onto a mound, but it's a very easily accessible mound. But there's danger on the left. In front, there's a little bit of a ditch, and it fight through. Come on.
Wow. You pulled that a little bit, but I got lucky through that right side as well.
Samuel looking to just clean up some distance. I mean, he's got to look from there. That's all you're hoping for is to get yourself an opportunity.
Little backwards flippy doodle.
Oh, that's a terrible kick.
That's pretty easy to do.
Mm-hmm. And he's looking like he's just got to just pitch it back out.
Still give himself a putt.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say these players are making this hole look a lot shorter than it is. It is long.
Yeah.
It's quite long.
Simon scooting one up there. He's in great shape. You might not be able to see the disc, but he's definitely going to be getting his birdie. Stop.
I'll look at it. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of trees right before the basket, and then where those players are standing on the left side, or the spectators, that's a big drop off right there. See?
That was for Eagle.
That was for Eagle. Eagle for Eagle.
Mm-hmm. That's how you draw it up. If you can push one up there, you're definitely looking at a pretty routine approach. But it's all about connecting and hitting this gap really, really good. And Samuel keeping the
best putter in the world.
His fire putting game.
Wow.
Super fun to watch. That's a great birdie. He was not in a great position.
Yeah, he wasn't in position. Yeah. Really. He scrambled his way up there.
Mm-hmm. It's really good to see.
This is Väinö for par?
I believe this is for bogey.
For bogey. Oh.
And I mentioned it in round 1, but the gallery is huge. And this isn't a super friendly gallery course because it is very tightly wooded. But there are so many people who showed up to take in this lead card action. So it's really, really cool to see how much Finland is supporting disc golf. And
yeah, that's what I learned. People actually know about disc golf here.
Yeah.
Strangers at the grocery store, if they ask you what you do, they actually understand. Oh, you play disc golf. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like that in most countries, and I've heard that from people that have traveled here too, from Germany and from Denmark and stuff like that. They're like, nobody knows what disc golf is. So Finland is different. It's cool to see that, and kind of gives me hopes for what the United States could be someday.
Absolutely.
Or just the sport in general across the nation, or the world, not the nation.
Hole 11, 199 meters. This is probably one of the most difficult holes on the course. This is one of 2 temp holes that they added because there's a couple of really short par 3s that they decided to take out. But there's OB to the right, OB long, and more Mäkelä riddled throughout the left side and even a little bit on the right. So this becomes a really, really difficult shot where Simon's just throwing it perfectly, where you're trying to make this corner.
Oh my goodness.
Which I will
so
tell
hard
you,
to do.
I will tell you, it is not easy to do. You have to have so much power and control
And
to
there's
make it
wind,
out of this
too.
gap. It is so tight. I opted for an overhand just to put myself in the fairway, because the second shot then I could have thrown a big high over the top was the game plan. So you don't have to go very far, but man, if you can execute this shot that, an eagle is also doing the same thing, playing that old man golf, super hyzer with the cloud breaker.
Oh, is he going long?
Yeah. Oh, get back in.
Oh, it's inbound.
And he's safe.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
safe.
He might have hit that stake, it looked like it might
Yeah.
have.
But he's looking right at it. Those are going to be some good opportunities to get birdie 3s on this par 4.
This is one hole I'd take out. Or just
It needs to be
change
cleaned up.
dramatically.
If it got cleaned up, I think it'd be very good.
It doesn't fit the course, for one. It's completely different, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's just a little bit too much, in my opinion. And I didn't even have I got a 4 on it, but just kind of watching and seeing what the plays are, it wasn't my favorite hole.
Yeah. It is so much about, where you're at off the tee.
Yeah.
And that's a good play from Sammy. He'll have a look, and 4 is a great score on this
Yeah,
one.
4 is awesome.
Yeah, I think this hole just needed, maybe a couple trees removed, a couple spots here and there.
Just
Väinö
on the
looking
tee
like
shot.
Väinö threw, I believe, a grenade there.
Yeah.
Gives himself a good look for his birdie 3,
Look
which
at
is
that
awesome.
gallery.
Yeah, this card is making this hole look pretty easy. Everybody's looking at least a birdie putt, which is very, very impressive. I can tell you the rest of the field did not have this much of
Good
this,
fortune.
Yeah, this easy of a time.
Yeah, I saw a couple double OBs, and it's just really hard.
Simon opting for the jump
Little
putt
jump
because
putt
why
from
not?
200 feet. Okay, maybe 180.
Yeah, and that's
And he went long.
It helps in how much distance he has, and nobody brought the
Let's
road
go,
on the
Samuel.
right side into play, so you can't just throw a sidearm out and off the tee and play, because there is a lot of OB that is super, super dangerous. Samuel almost connecting there. Simon, the great putt for birdie.
Jump putt.
Yeah, I know.
Drive, jump putt, birdie.
Yep. Oh, the luxury.
All right.
That's
Bummer.
one Väinö's going to be haunted by a little bit, but he's been putting pretty well today. When he's settled himself down and just jamming it to the center. But he's still going to clean up a par here, which is, again, it's taking strokes on the field, but might not be taking strokes on the card.
Oh. I was like stuck to the basket.
Yeah. Oh, got. I think there's some plastic magnets or something in there. So, on to hole 12. This is the second temp hole we have out here. Very, very, very tight. This one, this one feels fresh. It's not. It feels almost overly tight. Only at 170 meters, so it's just, again, it's about how much ground can you cover off of this tee shot.
And it's almost impossible to land in the fairway on this hole. Like, even if you have the perfect shot, This is another hole. Man, is it hard, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so interesting and unique.
It's another hole that I think very similar to hole 11, that being that it's a temp hole, it could use a couple trees.
And a new tee pad.
And
the
a new tee
pad's
pad.
lumpy and it totally got to me.
Yeah. Well, we've been spoiled with really, really nice tee pads.
The whole course has perfect tee pads except this one. Oh, a little right side.
Yeah.
But pretty much anywhere you end up, like I said, you're going to kind of be scrambling even on the fairway. So being over there, it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting distance.
And I heard rumors that Seppo Bayou had an eagle look at this hole.
Goodness.
So he pured it. So, I mean, anybody's seen him play, he's one of the most pure throwers of the disc. So it's 100% there, only at 170 meters. A little over, that should be well over 500 feet, but he definitely has that kind of power. And this is exactly what it's about. If you're not in the fairway, which there's very little fairway on this hole becomes very, very challenging. Simon floating one, catching early, but should have no problem getting up and down for par from there. Eagle.
Is that eagle?
Or Väinö? Nope.
I was going to say.
Couldn't tell. Väinö with a great shot.
That's amazing.
Wow. That was impressive.
Yeah, those two big trees right there, too. I saw a lot of discs coming in on this perfect line, and then they'd hit that tree and then roll back like 30 feet. That happened a few times.
Yeah. Man, I was a little bit to the left of where Samuel was, and my lie was so hard compared to that. I would have dreamed to have been that right where he was.
So there's Eagle with like a
roller.
really good shot, having to
chopping
scramble.
Through. He's got a putt.
Interesting play, but sometimes there's not a lot going on that you can actually do.
Simon never not looking to try and throw it in, but gives
he
up.
looks disappointed that he didn't even have a line over there.
Mm-hmm.
I've felt that before. This gallery's really close to the players.
Yeah, what a hit.
Wow. Okay.
Again, but that's just because he covered so much distance off of the tee, it allowed for him to just kind of get himself close enough to save birdie, which is is a super score. Samuel getting up and down.
That drive really matters.
Mm-hmm. Good putt from Väinö. It's a great birdie. Simon will clean up his par. And now we're going to head back to the rest of the normal course to finish out. Yeah. Ching. Great putt from Eagle. So hole 13 is a super unique style hole. There's a giant hill in front of you that has a tunnel with a forward banner on it that you're trying to throw, and it goes up and then downhill, which is basically, I think we're pretty much level with the basket from where you are from the tee, but going up and over this hill makes it feel really challenging. You're trying to glide a hyzer around this. Väinö catches the banner.
And you do not want to be on that side of the hill.
No.
Especially not that close.
Yeah, and he cannot see the basket. If you can punch a disc around this corner with hyzer and hugging that left tree that's under the left side of the forward banner, if you can hug that tree, I think the much better you're going to be. Eagle's showing you exactly how it should look.
Too low.
He caught a stump.
That's what I don't understand is how to actually get all the way to the basket, because it has to go so far left to really get there. Mm-hmm. This is a really unique hole. I haven't seen anything really like this.
And this is the wider route. Simon
and it's blind, so after it's out of your hand, you're like, well, we'll see.
I played with a couple local kids, and they talked about turnover sidearms, and they kind of helped guide me through. And this is, Sammy even goes inside of that tree But
Beautiful.
you know, if he would have gone outside, he would have been in a similar spot. It's just that how much hyzer, and it kind of needs to be a fairway driver type of disc.
Keep floating.
To keep floating and have enough
Instead of
energy
putting-
when it hits the ground. Väinö laying down a pretty good forehand roller. He's
That
at least
was
has a
cool.
circle 2 look here.
Up and over the hill.
Yeah, I went with the Lucid X Felon on a really steep spike hyzer,
Uh-huh.
and I would imagine it got some really great ground play and jumped its way up there for my birdie. But
Who knows?
yeah, who knows? But you know, looking back, it probably is the play. The turnover sidearm will give you just a circle's edge look. But yeah, I'm cool with holes like this. I don't want, you know.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them, but having one or
Yeah,
two a tournament is
It's
totally
unique.
fine.
It's picturesque. I think it's a cool addition,
Great pick from
and
Väinö.
it fits the course. You know,
Totally does.
It's unique.
And it is, you know. Oh God!
No way. That
Stop!
was perfect. I hate seeing that.
I mean, that looked like a glitch in the Matrix or something. That was so weird. Ah, man, Samuel's been putting so well. I know he'll bounce back
Still
from
did. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's frustrating. Saw a few of those this weekend. Not
Mhm. That guy
Testing
telling the basket
jam.
you did a bad job.
You better basket.
Now, this might be one of the more
tunnel
signature
hole?
holes. Yeah.
This
Hole-
one's really cool.
Hole 14, 135 meters, par 3, dead straight. Lots of danger, or Mäkelä on the left and right.
Feels like a par 4.
It
For us, anyways, for FPO, like, if your drive's good, you should be able to 3 it, but even if it's, like, the perfect drive, you still have a hard time getting up there for 3. Definitely not a birdie opportunity from most of our division, anyways.
Ooh, the eagle
That's
hitting very early.
Gonna hurt.
Yeah, this is 100% a shot where you want to throw it straight, have it fly straight, and have it finish straight.
Right,
It
which
needs
is
to have
not
very
easy.
little deviation off of its path, and it's
But
got to
it's
go.
so far, you can't really throw a putter.
Yeah, it's got to go over 400 feet.
Yeah.
It's like not many discs do that, but I love this style of challenge, and this is definitely a pro par 3 at the MPO level, as Tina mentioned. Maybe not for the FPO.
But these kind of holes is why I like Ford so much, is that you're not just, oh, I'm going to throw a hyzer. Oh, I'm going to throw a turnover. Almost every shot is like, ooh, I don't know if I've thrown a shot that does this like this at this point in its flight. And so it's really making you kind of play with your discs and just play with lines that you've never thrown before. I love that kind of golf.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
this is
just a
looking
hyzer after a
great.
hyzer.
Oh, it's leaking just a little. Give him something.
I think that's probably the most common shot you're going to see.
Yeah.
Getting down the middle, it's going to hyzer out. Hopefully it stays out of the woods, but that's pretty common.
Never what you want to be doing
Bowler.
on a hole like this is ripping out a forehand roller from super far away.
He's good at those, though.
Yeah, he is. Look at this gallery.
Oh, cool. That's a good shot.
Mikko korin takaa.
Out of that. Skip. Oh, up.
He jumps down, and he might be in jail over there.
He might have a putt. There's a little opening over there. But this one's guarded, too, so you can have a really great shot. And then if you end up on the right side, or it doesn't look guarded, I guess.
Yeah.
Within 15 feet
Mm-hmm.
is great.
Ugh.
But left of that isn't so great.
Väinö catching those branches, getting a roll away, but he'll be at circle's edge.
Clean look at it.
Slight uphill putt at it.
Was that
Samuel
his
from
second
distance. Oh, great bait.
Or was that his drive?
It was Väinö's drive.
Samuel.
Yeah, I believe that was his drive.
I missed it. I thought he was in the woods a little more, but that's great. Yeah, like I said, this one's a toughie.
Yes. Great connection. Great par save.
Awesome.
Oh, off the band for par.
Great run.
I think it's gonna be a couple pars, a couple bogeys. It's exactly what this hole offers. It is very, very difficult.
And that's a par 3.
Yeah. But I don't believe what Väinö and Samuel did merits a birdie necessarily.
Right. If you stay in the fairway, it's a par 3.
Yeah.
If you get off the fairway, it doesn't feel like a par 3. Even if you're a little off or just don't get distance. You can be in the middle of the fairway,
Yeah.
but short, and it doesn't feel like a par 3.
Hole
This
15.
one's a little bit shorter, 102 meters.
Mhm.
It's a little turnover or a sidearm. I think I saw a lot more sidearms on this. Pretty straightforward, simple hole. You just want to get up and then right. That's going to be on the left side, but he still shouldn't have a problem getting a par.
No.
This one's fun, simple.
It's
kind of a nice break from the last couple holes.
Yeah, and this is the sidearm and turnover. It's all about your distance control. If you have to push it longer than you think,
You can get in
just like this. This is great.
Ooh, baby.
It doesn't have to go that. It doesn't have to have that much action to the right, because you can throw a pretty good straight shot and have a 25, 30 foot.
Yeah, it's pretty open, so. And very picturesque. There's like purple flowers down the whole fairway. A little bit of Queen Anne's lace behind the tee pad.
You could go in a little higher.
Oh,
It
a little,
challenges those
little
branches.
Too wide. I feel like the high shot doesn't really benefit very much
Yeah.
versus going down the middle.
Yuna, I played with him, and he said he has a friend who throws the high turnover. And
Okay.
he says it's absolutely the play, because all you have to do is clear those trees, and if you go right over top of those trees, it funnels right to the basket.
Okay.
So, maybe for next year. Whew. Good bid.
Yeah, like these guys still have birdie opportunities, even though they weren't like perfect shots.
Yeah.
Pulled that one a little bit. But that'd be a really tough birdie from back there anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Simon got a little long in those pines. Oh my goodness.
Putt.
Great putt. Little knee straddle putt.
Mm-hmm.
Little big knee straddle putt.
That's a great hit for Simon. Mm-hmm.
Good focus on Eagle's part. Gallery moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't care about short putts.
No. They're expecting you to make that.
I guess.
Wow. What a hit. Hole 16, 100 meters, very tight. Definitely needs to get a lot more left to right than it feels. But this one is very easy to push long and catch the trees, and not make the progress that you wanted. So if you can challenge the trees long and come just in front of them, you're going to be looking at a birdie. But there is a lot of trees to navigate. Väinö, beauty, going even too far to the right.
Yeah, on the tee pad, it's really hard to tell where your line is, like where that little fairway is, because it is pretty small and it's pretty dramatic right. But if you've played here a few times and had a couple practice shots, it's just a feel thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
You're not using a lot of your vision.
Yeah, it's you take a disc that you can trust on a turnover or a sidearm, and
Like that?
just push it out there, and
Hope it
trust
doesn't
it's gonna
hit
be
one of those
good.
late trees.
Yeah, Simon and Samuel both catch some early trees, which kind of takes the birdie out of play for them, which is.
Looks like they turned them just a little bit too much.
Mhm.
You kind of want it to straighten out once it gets around that corner.
And this is kind of why I like the sidearm, because I think it
Yep.
gets a little more vertical. It makes it, and in reality, makes it kind of a little bit thinner through the gaps, less likely to catch something.
Ooh.
Simon definitely giving that one a bid.
I guess it was short. It looked like it was in. Oh my goodness.
Samuel giving it a bid as well.
This is a fair par 3. I had a birdie look at it from circle 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Yeah,
you
Väinö.
Yes. Big putt. Do you think this is a must get, or do you think this is more of like a bonus birdie?
It's not a bonus. It's not a must get. It's kind of
It's just a par 3?
Yeah, if we were to play here 4 rounds, you're probably getting it 2 of 4.
Yeah.
And
Great putt.
if you're feeling, if the winner probably gets it every single round,
Mm-hmm.
because they're just so good and they're winners. And that's
You get 2 birdies out of 4.
yeah, and that's but that's the beauty of it is if you get it a couple times it feels great, but this is the only time we're out here, so it definitely feels.
But you're probably
Feels
not
like a
foring
bonus.
it either.
No.
You'd have to hit the first tree, I
Yeah.
think, to have a 4 on it,
Absolutely.
which
Gallery
is
watching.
pretty hard to get.
Boom. Clean form. Hole 17, 128 meter par 3. This is a great par 3. It kind of almost feels like a par 4 because of how tight the gap is and where the basket is placed up a hill. But for our players, you just have to kind of smash one out there and make sure you hit the gap. You got to beat these trees on the left and get out into this ditch, and it becomes a pretty routine-ish par 3, and you should get your par. But it's definitely reachable, man. I want to see if one of our players can actually push one up there and give themselves a look. Eagle going with a PD. This just needs to finish a little bit. He's got a putt. It's a great shot.
This is a surprisingly touchy hole, I found out.
Mm-hmm.
This was one, I played this course blind, and this was one hole that I was like, man, I really wish I would have practiced this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the gap's pretty easy, really, realistically. But where you want your disc to land is very important.
Yeah.
And
completely.
I didn't really understand how far right I should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because if you end up on that left side on that hill,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, you can't see the basket. It's a forehand turnover uphill. It's just like crazy, and you don't want all that. You're looking to just get a 3.
Oh, no.
That looked good.
Yeah, it looked
Left
like it was
side?
looked like the exact angle you want to have, and now this is where
Didn't turn enough.
this feels like a par 4.
Exactly.
He legitimately has I no way.
And that's
Of-
sand
Yeah.
down there. A roller's not gonna move through that sand.
It's so tough. Simon tossing up a hope and a prayer.
Is that what kind of shot was that? Sidearm turnover?
Yeah, it was a big high
Slash
sidearm
tomahawk?
turnover. But I mean, he was in a terrible spot.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
didn't matter. He just needed to kind of cover some distance,
Yeah,
give
this
himself
is-
just less of a distance for par.
If you get out of the gap at all, I feel like you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not in the stuff on the left
Come on.
side. Yep,
Good play.
perfect. Ah,
Happy for
look at the
bogey.
flowers under that basket. How nice. Straight down. Yeah, I'll probably be happy with that.
Here's Eagle with his birdie look.
And that hill is quite the hill.
Off the cage.
Dang. It's so uphill.
Mm-hmm.
You're like walking on a
And it's
90
loose
degree angle.
dirt, sand. It's not easy to stand on.
Good putt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, from where he was, he probably knew immediately he was probably taking a 4.
Yeah.
I think
A
that's
3 would have
kind
been
of
a huge
given.
bonus. Good 3 from Väinö. And this probably played, as probably over par.
You think? Yeah.
I would
Half a
imagine
stroke
this
over,
played
maybe?
over par, which is totally justifiable. But when you're on it, it's just similar to hole 14, where if you're in the fairway, it definitely feels like a par 3.
Did you birdie at all in practice?
I had putts, but I was trying to get my round done, so I didn't do too much putting.
That's the thing. Even if you get all the way up there and you're on that hill,
Mhm.
it's still like
Not
a
easy.
really hard putt.
Hole 18, 99 meters, slightly downhill. Yeah, this is a
Simple
pretty
finishing
easy
hole.
finishing
It's
hole.
pretty and it's a fun shot to throw, but nothing too challenging.
Mm-hmm.
You should be getting a 2 or a 3 on it.
Probably see a bunch of sidearms would be my guess.
The only tough part really about it is that there's this open fairway with wind down there that you don't
Mhm.
necessarily feel on the tee pad.
Oh yeah.
But this is like this raised tee pad on top of a hill. It's really like, I don't know, feels really cool.
Yeah, it does. And this is a good line.
Oh!
And he just
That gets a normal skip. That's
Those
like
kind of skips
Yeah.
are super common on this hole. The ground's pretty hard packed and there's some rocks. We saw a bunch just like shoot straight into the air and
Yeah.
it's just the way they come down.
Well, they're coming in, gravity's definitely playing a factor, and it's a hard packed ground. There's some rocks and stuff like that, so you can kind of even no skip if you catch a weird undulation out there. Big word. Don't ask me to define it. Eagle,
See?
and that catches
Same
a nice,
exact thing.
like just softer skip, giving himself a good look for a birdie.
Did anyone throw putters on this? Or is this
No.
not a putter shot?
It sets up too good for just a overstable fairway sidearm.
Okay. I could just see you being able to throw something really straight that just kind of finishes right, and then you end up short circle's edge, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's too routine of a sidearm.
Mm-hmm. Hey, go check out the Patreon account for SMDG.
Mm-hmm.
We have one as well, but these guys have been working really hard this weekend, staying up late putting these videos together, so go support them.
Yeah. Väinö for 2. Finish off a good round.
Come on. Oh, man.
Right distance,
It's kind of
right
a tricky
speed.
putt. You don't want to hit that tree on the left. That's the last thing you want to do, and it looks like he thought about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Eagle to move to 15 under.
This is a guarded basket.
Yeah, it is. You can end. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places where the putt is just doesn't feel as accessible.
Oh, he has the same putt.
Yeah.
Almost identical.
Yeah.
Good correction. Throwing that little hyzer putt just to make sure he's getting around that tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to finish.
Oh yeah.
Especially with a tricky one, too. It's like, those feel really good.
Good comeback.
Yeah, I think a 3's fine on this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to 4 it.
No.
I did, and it sucked. And I shouldn't have. Oh, no.
Simon.
Huh. That's surprising.
Yeah, it just short armed it. He just didn't follow all the way through. Little lack of focus coming down the stretch. I know he might. I don't think anything was coming from 17. It's just
Happens to all of us.
Look at him. He's smiling. He's all good about it. Ah, Samuel missing that one too.
Sometimes it just, you forget that you need to focus even on those, like, easier putts.
Mm-hmm. And there's something about this whole being, not
Not
that
hard.
challenging.
Yeah, makes you feel like you should get it. I felt that way on my second putt. I was like, I guess I didn't really have the first
Mm-hmm. We saw some pretty solid golf.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Mhm.
Hope you enjoyed the coverage and the commentary. If you haven't thought about it yet, come out to the Tyyni in 2020.
It is well worth it. Väinö
Go
shooting
with a 15 down.
Yeah, shooting 5 down. Väinö with 3. Samuel shot 2, and Simon put up a solid 6, which was, up there with one of the better rounds. And we're gonna have 3 players that are from the USA: Eagle, Simon, Eric, and Leo from Finland on the lead card. With a tight battle with a lot of Finns behind us. So make sure you guys tune in to round 3 coverage. Check these guys out. Follow them on Patreon. Check their social medias. Check us out. And thank you guys all the hard work at Tyyni. We've really enjoyed doing commentary. So we'll
Catch you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching.